Guys, I have been depressed for a decade. Then I got chronically fatigued. So how did I get undepressed and unfatigued later on? Yeah, here's what I learned. When in university, when I tried to focus on the lecture, I had negative thought after negative thought. Each one would trigger another one. And back then I feel like if I don't analyze this particular very persuasive negative depressive thought, then I wouldn't learn anything from it. Then it would happen again. And this fear-based assumption caused me open my door wide open to all sort of negative thinking. And each negative thinking always bring with another very persuasive and compulsive like depressive thinking. And the thing is, once you got depressed and then the whole lecture was done, then you lost motivation to do homework, then it get worse, then you have more things to worry and be depressed about, then you feel depressed about being depressed. Soon all the depressive thought will grow and become a monster. So according to many like metaphysic books, when people say they get possessed and channeling the spirit of someone, maybe even like fictional someone that you create inside your head, how it happened? It was by repeatedly imagining and thinking the same thought or picturing the same person. This whole thing will come alive one day. Like if you visualize talking to Steve Jobs, at first he might be robotic and give one or two sentences, right? After months he will become a live character, and eventually you might be able to hallucinate Steve Jobs walking with you and telling you what to do as if he is the real Steve Jobs. And this is also how some actors become so good at acting, like by creating a new character in their head, and after months working on the character, it comes alive, right? So that's how depression works. And okay, the way to defeat it. Okay, how do you defeat it? Okay, let's say your depressive thought is now like a Niagara Fall, like a big waterfall, and your happy thought is like so weak and so fake, like it doesn't sound convincing in your head. Like, don't worry, be happy, you know, that kind of stuff. It feels like just cliche, right? And it's like this baby statue peeing to the pond. So how do you reverse it? You reverse it by choosing the happy thought each and every time and ignoring the depressive thought. At first you will feel like such a failure. Like you sit down, all your traumatic memory from childhood or worries about your situations and being depressed about being depressed, it seems like it never ends. But you start ignoring it. Like the first depressive thought will gone by like a garbage on a river. It flow by and then like drift away. Then the second depressive thought come over. You find that you're still not good at focusing on your homework or studying for exams or trying to be productive in general, but you keep ignoring it. You know, maybe the voice of your professor or teacher is so far away, you're trying to focus, you can, but you keep ignoring this. At first, the voice of your professor or the happy thought you want to cultivate, maybe like a little trickle of that, like in this little pea of this statue. But eventually, by choosing it repeatedly, it will come alive, will be so much bigger. And that's the mechanism of meditation. Meditation is focusing on developing your part of the brain on choosing what's important, right? And choosing how to ignore things. Believe me, it's a brain function, okay? When you instead choosing depressive thought each and every time, you are cultivating the other part of your brain. So, there is also a scientific study that shows that senior people, older people are in general much happier than younger people. And that's because they know they don't have much time left, so they need to focus on the happy thought. There are nothing more for them to achieve in general, so there's no point for them in starting a big business and solving the world's problems, because they don't have enough time to enjoy the fruit of their neighbor anyways. But for young people, they still have a life ahead, so they need to find the answer for the universe. They need to solve problems. They need to choose the right path. They need to be finding the sexy partners to reproduce with, and therefore they have the instinct to punish themselves for making stupid choice and acknowledge problems. But after a certain age, most people start to either become delusional or choosing to look at the bright side and just simply take it easy. So how can you be young and happy? You can do that while acknowledge problems by finding solution. The only way I find is to read book, because like Einstein say, right, you can solve problems with the level of thinking that create that problem to begin with. So all the problems that you are facing, all the negative things that you're dealing with, most of it were created by yourself, right? In one way or another. Maybe you grew up in a toxic homes and toxic people around you been trying to get inside your head. Yeah, that's what they do. That's why they're toxic people, which I will make a video on to talk about them. And they usually succeed because this is what they're good at. They're trying to make you feel like you're inadequate. They're trying to plant fear into your head. Like one of the major fear is if you don't think about what I'm telling you, then you will always be like this. So by thinking about the destructive word, you stay being destroyed. You're like, it's destructive, right? Then it creates a cycle. So the more you think about it, the more problem you have, the more you verify that, yeah, maybe they are right, maybe I have problems. Then you create problem and think about the problem, which create more problems. It's like this is why it is hard to ignore your first and second and the first 10 depressive thoughts that come your way, like river, keep flowing into you, right? Only by repeatedly ignoring it and focus on the solution and the productive thought will the depression die slowly. But some people may ask, I thought depression is chemical based. It is the chemistry in your brain. Yes, that's true too. But according to the book, How Healing Works, your thought and belief can heal and they can also destroy. So it's like both way, right? Your thought will manifest the health condition of the body, and the health of your physical body can vice versa affect your brain. So if you are slouching, like being like low energy, is very difficult to beat depression. It's very easy, like when your body is weak, subconsciously you will feel intimidated because you know the bad guy can anytime attack you, grab you, and kidnap you easily. Because when you're weak, you know that you can't defend yourself. So you feel anxiety all the times and you don't know why. But your subconscious know why, because it is telling you you're weak, you got to eat better, you got to work out. Like the social anxiety, part of it is your body is too weak, unhealthy. Maybe cut off the sugar, eat more proteins, get more healthy omega-3 fat. Now go back to finding solution for your life. How do you do that? By reading a lot of books. The books will raise the level of your thinking. Then you can see more, right? With the life experience and wisdom and findings, scientific findings of all these smart people who wrote those books. You're looking at the bigger picture instead of like a small confine of the problematic situation that you created with your old thinking. Now you have a new thinking and new insight on many things and see solution that people been using to solve some of the biggest problems. Then you can apply them, you can synthesize and create a unique solution tailored to your situation. It won't be immediately useful. Like a lot of books that I read, it won't be immediately helpful, most of it. But oftentimes they are like the seed that fall into the ground, and then after months and years it get better and better. It's like magic. And people who don't read books, when they look at your life, me personally, I can testify this, they think you're a magician. They think you are so talented, it's so unfair. But no, I was like them before. But I think my IQ over the years develop. It's like people with multiple personality, some of their personality are smarter, stronger than the other, right? Than the other personalities. Some of the personality has even like cancer. But when they switch to a new personality, over time that cancer disappear on its own, because the new personality has a new set of belief and a different set of reality inside, right? So yeah, this also has some source. I can't totally like tell you it must be true, but then there were doctors who study multiple personality who report these findings. You can search it, look it up on Google. And go back to the books, right? Books, there is something called network effect. The network effect is the more you add something to the system, the more benefit you derived from the system, like cell phone, right? If the world only has one cell phone, it's useless. But if you have 10 cell phones, now they can call each other. But it's still pretty useless because you can only call 9 other people in the whole earth. But when it becomes 10,000 million, 10 million, the more people are using cell phone, the more value it creates per cell phone. So same for books. One book, you're not going to find the solution you're looking for immediately. Like if you have something pretty urgent, reading a book that promised to give you answer for these particular problems will still not be working, most likely, because you are like too fresh to the new ideas and you haven't put in like personal experience and trial and error, and you don't have other books to like help you understand this particular book in a more three-dimensional way. You understand what I mean? So the more book you read, the more you will be able to synthesize a unique solution for yourself. This is why people who buy internet course on how to get rich often failed, because they are looking for one magic bullet. Like even if their online course that they bought make total sense, right on, but still everyone has a unique set of problems. Maybe that online course is not like, doesn't really apply to your unique situation, your unique talents and unique struggle. Like I have ADHD, and through reading multiple books, I slowly develop like a real solution that I can use for myself. Like when I say meditation, right? Meditation helped me ignore depressive thought, ignore toxic people, which I will talk about, because like toxic people in itself are addictive, right? They are like cigarette. They harm you, they poison you, but they get you to think about them, and by thinking about them, they get through the door. Then eventually, you will forgive and forget and let them start over, and to prove that what the kind of toxic people they are, all over again and again and again and again, and your life, before you know it, your life is waste. So yeah, so this is how you beat depression. Yeah, don't give up. Meditation doesn't work on day one. It works from day one, but the result that you're looking for will not be immediately obvious. Just like practicing focus is not something that you can achieve in one day. It's like, it's a muscle here, right? If you overtrain your bicep, but your tricep is weak, now to balance them, you need to go to the gym for a while before you can correct the posture and the balance of your muscle, right? Same for the brain. If you're too creative, too much association in your head, you have create a whole depression system, the ecosystem of depression inside your head. It will take time to undo it. Yeah, so yeah, I know. It's not you, it's the toxic people in your life. They got inside your head. I know, but they will always be there. There are plenty of them, right? If you see someone who have red flag, do not question your experience. You know you have been dealing with toxic people all your life if you are depressed. So why give them another second chance? Why doubt your instinct? Just shut door. I know you can, because if you're depressed, most likely you're not like able to focus really well. That's why I recommend meditation. Again, this is from all these years of reading books and synthesized knowledge. That's how I learned about it. Just reading the book The Power of Now probably wouldn't allow me to understand to this level, right? So by training your mind to ignore thought and focus on, like say, your breathing or a visualization, an image that you visualize, you learn how to focus. That's like a very important function of the brain. By training it, by training your focus muscle in the brain, eventually you will learn how to ignore the toxic people in your life. No, you're not angry with them, you're not hating them, you don't love them either. It's like neutral. Because any emotion that you have attached to these toxic people, they will use it, believe me. This is why they try to like push your button. This is why they're trying to get through the door with like, by trying to be funny, by being like unprofessional. Why? What? How come toxic people always trying to be your friend? Yeah, instead of like say something professional, like stay professional, respect your boundary. No, they don't want that. They want to be sloppy. They want to like step inside the door, and then they want to sit on your sofa and then waste their feet on your coffee table, stuff like that. Like that would be never. It would never end. Just like depression. So just cut it off. Like, do not even hate them, because hatred will get you to seek validation or revenge, which will make you think about them all the times. Because anger, hatred always seek validation. And one of the major way to seek validation is to make yourself suffer, so they can see, oh, what they have done. But guess what? They don't care. Even your mom, if your mom is toxic, if your parents are the one who created this depression, guess what? They don't care enough. Trust me. Maybe this is what they want to achieve. Toxic people are very confused. They know deep down they want to control others, weaken them, control them, make them useless, so that they can control their victims, right? If you become like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, totally empowered, it will be like a slap on the face. They don't want you to succeed. They want to sabotage you. Yeah, this is kind of like a sickness, like a mental disease. That's why it's called toxic. So yeah, I will elaborate on this further. So thank you for watching, and click the like button, the subscribe button, and I will see you later. Bye.